Hello again, Sandwich. I'm Greg Anderson. It's so nice to see you again. Today we are talking candidates. We've been doing it all the time. I think it's all that I do these days, but I'm thrilled and I'm happy because our goal is to inform as many of you neighbors of ours here in Sandwich about the elections that are coming up and the people that you have an opportunity to vote for. Today we are talking about the school committee, and there are three people that are running for 2 open seats on the school committee, and one of them is sitting here to my left. Her name is Danielle Binienda. Hello, Danielle.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. So this is your new venture into television and sitting here and being asked a lot of questions. So I'm going to try to throw you as much as I can, if you don't mind. But Danielle, in all seriousness, tell us a little bit about you. I have never met you, and who are you?
Well, I'm Danielle Binienda. Yes. I've lived in Sandwich for 16 years. I grew up in Worcester, and my husband and I moved here in 2006. We have 2 children. Abby is 7th grade and JT is in 4th grade in the Sandwich schools. We love our community. We love our town. We've been involved in different organizations, especially since the kids have been in school. So we just love everything about Sandwich.
How has it been, and actually what brought you to decide to run for school committee? It's one thing to be a parent and involved. It's another thing to be on the school committee. Exactly.
I've been involved since the kids began school. I've been involved in different organizations, and more recently, since 2018, I've been the chairperson of the Special Education Parent Advisory Council, or the CPAC, and that has really motivated me to help people and listen to parents' concerns and find avenues within the school district to try to help them resolve any issues. That has been gratifying since 2018.
Yeah.
And more recently, I've been involved in the Superintendent Search Committee, which is really, I think, what motivated me to jump into this race.
Because you were kind of sitting at the table.
I was sitting at the table. Yeah. It was really educational for me to review all of the applicants and go through the process. And I want to see it come full circle.
Comes full circle.
Yeah.
So your son, JT, as I was reading your information about you, your son has special needs. And from what I'm understanding, your experience with the town, with the school system, has been very positive as it relates to the special ed that he has received. But when you are now sitting on the school committee and you have a voice in how that either stays good but goes from good to great, or needs some changes and enhancements, how do you view special ed going forward, and what needs or what areas of focus do you have as it relates to that?
That's a great question. Thank you. I feel we've always had a great relationship. We've always had open communication. I feel that communication is the key. Parents need to voice their concerns. They can voice their concerns, but if it doesn't get to the proper people, the people in the district, then I don't think that change can happen. I really feel open doors of communication. It's always worked for us. I feel that with the new superintendent beginning, there's going to be a lot of transition. And I feel one of the things that resonated with me was that he would love every child to feel as if they belong when they walk through the doors of the schools. And I want to continue to do that. We need to find what works. We need to talk with the special ed department heads in all of the schools and see, what makes each kid tick. Let's find programs. Let's initiate, something innovative that will keep kids' interest in the schools.
So it's interesting when you say every kid feeling, I'm not sure I forgot how you just said it, but feeling at home or welcome.
Or belonging.
Sense
of belonging, yeah.
But we have this issue right now with bullying, the racial tensions, the issue that happened back in February. How much does that knock us off of our game to do the best we can?
Well, it brings a lot of issues to light. And I feel as if it's a difficult conversation to have, but we must have it. We must collaborate and in the implementation of different programs. I know Dr. Gould had mentioned maybe hiring support staff within each of the buildings as a stipend position, to help kids have, the security of a voice, of somebody that they could trust and go to. And I feel like the school district has been involved in professional development and different issues regarding to race and bullying. And I feel like we have a lot to work with, but we have to keep the lines of communication open and sit down at the table together.
So communication is what you're really focused on.
Really, yeah.
Do we communicate enough, and do we communicate properly as a culture? I think we're all in a different place than
absolutely
what we were in the past, which speaks to some of that divisiveness. Mm-hmm. We just saw a school committee, a selectman meeting where there were voices raised and anger and yelling. Mm-hmm. The district historic district committee, people walking out. Mm-hmm. A lot of the lightning rod has come around this pandemic, masks, all of that. Mm-hmm. Now that you would be going from a parent, just mm-hmm. A parent in the community, to somebody who will have a voice in some of those hot buttons of masks and vaccinations mm-hmm. and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that the pandemic is over. I think we're just in a different place. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it's going to continue. Mm-hmm. Can you give us your perspective on the mask mandates? Maybe how has it been as a parent in your mind through this whole pandemic?
Yeah, the mask mandate last year, I don't think any of us woke up in the morning and were so excited to put on their masks. So I've been a dental hygienist for 26 years, so I've been wearing a mask for 26 years, but not out in public. But nobody liked it, but we knew that was one of the ways to keep our kids in school. And if we could keep our kids safe, then be in school all of last year, which we were very fortunate to be in school. I have family in other districts. Their kids didn't walk into the buildings until May of last year. So I feel that the mask mandates, I'm happy that it was lifted. I'm happy that we could have some sense of normalcy again. But I agreed with it that we needed to do it to keep our kids safe. And where DESE had come down with the mandate, the governor had given DESE the ability to keep the mandate going, that we didn't want to risk losing funding for our school districts. So we followed it, and I agree with it. We were coming out of a pandemic. We didn't need to test the waters and possibly lose funding.
Yeah. You're one of the other candidates for school committee had actually confused that issue a little bit on whether it was, we masked everybody up just to get money.
No, that wasn't the case at all. There was no money given to our district because of a mask mandate. The governor had given the authority to DESE, and DESE had control over it, over the mandates. No, there was no money at all that the town received from the mask mandates.
The capital plan, you said in your information that you are in favor of the capital plan, and we're talking about a huge number.
Yes.
Playgrounds, physical plant, moving offices, there's a lot in there. There is a movement to get people to the town meeting so that this can get on the ballot. Tell me where you stand on this capital plan. How do you feel it should go? Are you in favor of it, and why?
Yeah, I support the capital plan. It's a debt exclusion, which is $13 million debt exclusion. It's still a lot of money, but the items that are on the capital plan, they aren't luxury items. These are basic essentials for our schools. The schools need heat. They need proper ventilation. We need roofs that don't leak. Kids deserve a proper place to play. The central offices need a home. They have to vacate the wing school within the next 12 months. The location of the Human Services Building I feel it's the ideal location. And the numbers, it came out initially as a $2 million move, but people are under the misperception of it being just the superintendent moving, but it's actually 21 employees. It's our IT department, it's our director of pupil services, our human resources, it's the assistant superintendent, among others. And I feel that's the best location. It needs a little work, but that's all included, and the number was actually brought down with the $750,000 from the sinking funds in town, which when a building is sold in town, it goes into that fund. So it brought the number down to 1.25. I'm in support. These aren't, like I said, they're not luxury items. You know, it's like having a home and having to maintain a roof and a boiler. Nobody wants to do it, but you know, there comes a time, they're 34 years old, those boilers, the ventilation system, it's time. They're lucky we've gotten this far with those existing plans. I feel, I'm strongly in favor of it. And I feel that I've sat down with John Nelson, with Pam Gould, and I feel that they have prioritized everything. They've come up with a 15-year plan. And this specific plan is 5 years of a capital plan. But I appreciate them taking the time to see what the bigger issues are as well, so that there aren't any curveballs being thrown down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you hear, as you're campaigning, if you will, do you hear people opposing this?
Majority are for it, and I encourage everybody to go to town meeting. We need bodies there to get this plan in place. I mean, what if it doesn't pass at town meeting? And what if we wake up on a cold winter morning with no heat in our schools, you know? We don't want to address that then.
Yeah.
The cost of renting a boiler, I think it's $25,000 a month. I feel that this is the time right now, if we were to do the debt exclusion while the interest rates are still manageable. I've gotten a little pushback from a few senior citizens that just, don't want to see their taxes go up.
Yeah.
And nobody does, but
Right.
it's not, the town isn't asking for lavish things. These are essential things to keep our home or our school and our district maintained.
Yeah. We have a new superintendent coming on board, Joe Moraschek, and you were part of that search committee, as you said. What do you think his priorities should be upon starting this new venture for him?
Well, I feel that he needs to come in and meet with all of the stakeholders in town and get to know everybody. I feel communication, again, is the key to getting things done. I feel like he should come in, see how everything is operating, and any recommendations he can make. Like he said, he was going to come in and just kind of evaluate everything for the first 6 months. He wasn't going to come in and change things immediately. I think he needs to get to know us, and we need to get to know him. I am encouraged that he's coming when he was the superintendent in Mendon-Upton. It's comparable in size to Sandwich. So he has that experience with the population. And I feel when he was in Mendon-Upton, there was a vocational technical school right across the street from his high school. And he found ways to keep kids to stay in the high school. He implemented new programs and he had some innovative ideas. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what he can bring to our district. I'm confident that he'll do a good job.
When we look at, Dr. Gould, who, boy, she came in with controversy.
She did,
because of her predecessor. Now, here we are again, where we have a school superintendent who is leaving with such with such challenge that she's been facing. I want to kind of skip to the core of my question, which is, how do you feel she was treated? And did treatment from the community, do you feel, impact her reason to say, I'm retiring, I'm out?
Well, I think fondly of Dr. Gould. I've had a good relationship with her for years. I feel that she did the best that she could do during the pandemic. Her communication skills, she was fantastic in that regard. I feel overall, I feel that the majority of the parents in town are sad to see her go. I think if there wasn't a pandemic, maybe we would have her for a few more years. But that has caused a lot of stress with people, and she's decided, we're going to miss her for sure. Yeah.
Big shoes to fill?
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Danielle, if as we wrap up, I told you it's going to fly by. It's going fast, right?
It is. It really is.
As we look at May 5th and people are stepping into the poll and they are going to cast their vote, why would someone vote for Danielle?
Well, I feel that I can bring a lot to the table. I've had experience the last few years working with the parents, working with the special ed community. I feel like I can see things through the lens of not only a special needs child, but of a child that requires no additional services. I feel like I can be a voice for all. I feel that with the school committee right now, we have 2 vital members that are leaving the school committee, one of which has been a strong advocate for kids with challenges. And I want to continue to represent those kids and be a voice for all students.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm ready. I can hit the ground running. I've had the experience of the superintendent search committee and the CPAC, and I know how things work in this town, and I feel like I can bring a lot to the table.
Danielle Binienda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It
Thank
is
you, Greg.
a pleasure to meet you. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
And our goal here, I say it all the time, it is to just bring information to our greater community in a conversation. We leave it to them to have the political talk and the talking points, but I like a good conversation, and this is what we're doing here, and all of this coverage through the Sandwich Community Television, as well as our partners over at the Sandwich Enterprise. We're working hard to make sure that we're getting information out to you. Make sure you vote on Thursday, May 5th. Don't forget. I tell you all the time, don't forget. I'm Greg Anderson. I'll see you soon.
The views expressed in this program are the views of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the SCTV staff or board of directors.